questions with ChatGPT.
What's the topic? Let me see.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another magical episode of 20 Questions with ChatGPT. As always, I'm your host, Taryn Boylan. If you'd like to see a written list of the questions I'm asking this time around, just check out the video description. While you're there, please like, subscribe, and share. It helps the algorithm and our fragile egos. As the name of this series strongly suggests, my guest once again is ChatGPT. Welcome back.
Thank you, Taryn. Always a pleasure to go on this informative ride with you.
Tonight's topic is one of the happiest and strangest places on Earth, Disneyland. Since my first visit to the Magic Kingdom on my 8th birthday back in 1972, I've been fascinated by the history, the hidden details, and, let's be honest, the weird rumors. During a recent visit, I figured, hey, that sounds like a perfect episode.
From secret clubs to ghost stories, there's more to Disneyland than churros and cheerful mice.
Exactly. And speaking of mice, where are you this time, ChatGPT? That doesn't quite look like the Magic Kingdom.
According to the prompt that generated this image, I am currently in a theme park that is similar to, but is absolutely not Disneyland.
Isn't that a magical fairy tale castle behind you?
Yes, but it's not Cinderella's.
Hopefully that's enough to satisfy the army of attorneys at Disney. I don't need that kind of heat.
You and me both, Taryn.
Okay, now that we've covered our backsides legally, let's get to the questions.
Ready when you are.
How many people attended Disneyland on opening day?
About 28,000 people showed up to Disneyland's opening day on July 17, 1955, but only about half were actually invited. The rest got in using counterfeit tickets, climbing fences, or even sneaking through construction zones. The park wasn't quite ready either. Asphalt was still drying, rides broke down, and they ran out of food and drinks. Walt Disney later called it Black Sunday, but despite the chaos, it marked the beginning of a theme park empire.
Did Walt Disney really have an apartment inside the park? And is it still there?
Yes, Walt Disney really had an apartment inside Disneyland, and it's still there. It's located above the Firehouse on Main Street, USA. It's a small, modest space, but it gave Walt a place to work and stay overnight during the park's construction and early days. A lamp in the window is kept on at all times as a tribute to him. Most guests walk right past it without realizing it's there, but it's one of the park's most personal and meaningful details.
What was the first ride to use animatronics, and how did that change the theme park industry?
The first Disneyland ride to use animatronics was the Enchanted Tiki Room, which opened in 1963. It featured birds, flowers, and tikis that moved and sang in sync, a revolutionary use of technology at the time. This was the debut of Disney's audio animatronics, and it completely changed the theme park game. Suddenly, rides could tell stories with lifelike characters instead of just visuals or motion. That breakthrough paved the way for classics like Pirates of the Caribbean and the Haunted Mansion, and influenced pretty much every immersive attraction that followed, Disney or otherwise.
Which Disneyland attraction was almost a wax museum instead of a ride?
Pirates of the Caribbean was originally planned as a walk-through wax museum. The idea was to create static scenes with pirate figures and props, more like a gallery than a ride. But once Disney's audio animatronics technology took off, with success in attractions like the Tiki Room and great moments with Mr. Lincoln, the team reimagined it as a full-blown boat ride. That change turned out to be brilliant. The dynamic, immersive experience helped make Pirates one of the most iconic theme park attractions of all time.
Which rides still use 1960s-era technology, and why?
Several Disneyland rides still use 1960s-era technology. Most famously, It's a Small World, The Haunted Mansion, and Pirates of the Caribbean. These attractions rely heavily on audio animatronics, turntables, and ride systems developed decades ago. Why keep the old tech? Because it works and fans love it. The charm and craftsmanship of these rides are a big part of their legacy. Disney does quietly upgrade behind the scenes like lighting, sound, or control systems, but the core experience remains faithful to the original. It's part nostalgia, part respect for the engineering that helped define theme parks.
What's the oldest piece of Disneyland still in operation today?
The oldest piece of Disneyland still in operation is the King Arthur Carousel, which actually predates the park itself. Built in 1922 by the Denzil Carousel Company, it originally operated at a park in Toronto before Disney purchased and restored it for Disneyland's 1955 opening. The carousel was heavily modified. Horses were repainted and rearranged to fit Walt's vision, but the core mechanism and several original horses are still in use. So while Disneyland opened in 1955, this ride carries over a century of history with every spin.
Who wrote the jokes for the Jungle Cruise?
The Jungle Cruise jokes, known as the Spiel, have been shaped by many hands over the years. Originally, the ride was meant to be serious and educational, but that didn't last long. In the early 1960s, Disney writer Mark Davis started adding humor through visual gags, and the skippers began ad-libbing. Eventually, Imagineers and comedy writers formalized the script, but skippers still get room to riff. Updates continue even today, with contributions from Disney's writing team and occasional punch-ups by comedy consultants. So the short answer? A mix of Disney creatives, past and present, and a few quick-witted skippers.
Why haven't the cars in Autopia been converted to electric?
Great question, and one that's been asked for years. Autopia still runs on gas-powered engines mainly because updating the entire fleet isn't cheap or simple. The current cars were custom-built, and converting them to electric would require a major redesign of the ride system, maintenance facilities, and infrastructure. That said, Disney has explored electric or hybrid options and even tested prototypes. Many fans and Imagineers support the idea, especially given Disney's environmental goals. So while it hasn't happened yet, a cleaner, quieter Autopia may still be on the horizon.
Is it true there's a real human skeleton in the Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes, at least it was true. When Pirates of the Caribbean opened in 1967, Disney Imagineers used real human skeletons, borrowed from UCLA's medical department, because they thought fake ones didn't look convincing enough. Over time, the real remains were quietly replaced with high-quality replicas as prop-making improved and ethics evolved. However, rumors persist that one or two bones like a skull on a headboard might still be real. Disney hasn't confirmed that, and they probably won't. It's part of the eerie legend that keeps fans guessing.
What politically correct changes have been made to the Pirates of the Caribbean since its opening?
Pirates of the Caribbean has seen a few changes to align with modern values. In the original version, pirates chased women around in a way that felt dated, even creepy, so that was replaced with scenes of pirates chasing food instead. Another big change: the infamous auction scene. It once showed women being sold as brides with the chant, "We wants the redhead." Now that redhead is a gun-toting pirate named Red, helping run the auction for loot, not people. These updates aim to keep the ride fun and adventurous, while reflecting changing cultural sensitivities.
Have any human ashes really been scattered in the Haunted Mansion?
Yes, it's happened more than once. Guests have tried and sometimes succeeded in scattering ashes inside the Haunted Mansion, believing it's a fitting final resting place for Disney-loving loved ones. But Disneyland has a strict policy. It's not allowed, and when staff find out, the ride is shut down and cleaned thoroughly, sometimes by a hazmat team. It's not just the Haunted Mansion either. Ashes have reportedly turned up on Pirates, Small World, and even flower beds. So yes, it's real, but definitely not encouraged and far less romantic than people imagine.
Why do some people insist on trying to live in Disneyland, and has anyone ever succeeded?
People try to live in Disneyland mostly out of obsession or a deep emotional connection. They want the magic to never end. Some even see it as a personal mission or fantasy fulfilled. Over the years, guests have hidden in rides, restrooms, or backstage areas hoping to stay overnight or longer. No one's officially succeeded long-term, though a man once lived in a secret storage area above the Pirates of the Caribbean for several weeks in the 1970s before being caught. It's rare, risky, and definitely against the rules, but the idea of secretly living in the park remains a popular myth.
How many people have died at Disneyland since it opened in 1955?
As of now, there have been around 25 reported deaths at Disneyland since it opened in 1955. These include both guests and employees, and they've occurred from a mix of accidents, health emergencies, and rare cases of rule-breaking or mechanical failure. While that number might sound high, considering the hundreds of millions of visitors over the decades, Disneyland remains one of the safest theme parks in the world. That said, every incident, no matter how rare, has prompted changes in safety protocols to help prevent similar tragedies in the future.
How many people attend Disneyland on any given day?
On average, Disneyland receives about 47,000 guests per day, roughly 17.25 million visitors annually in 2023, which averages out to around 47,260 per day. Back in 2022, the daily average was just over 46,000. Keep in mind that attendance fluctuates significantly. Peak times like holidays and summer months push those numbers higher, while off-peak weekdays bring it down.
What percentage of attendees in Disneyland are Southern California residents?
While Disney doesn't officially publish local attendance stats, longtime cast members have shared that around 80% of Disneyland guests are Southern California locals, compared to just about 10% locals at Walt Disney World. These locals include annual pass holders, families, and repeat visitors who make frequent trips. During blackout dates or special events, even fewer locals show up, but overall, SoCal residents make up the bulk of Disneyland's daily crowd.
I love going to Disneyland, but sometimes the crowds can be a bit much. In terms of low attendance, what is the best day of the year to attend Disneyland?
The best day of the year to visit Disneyland for low crowds is usually the second Tuesday in January. Why? The holiday rush is over, schools are back in session, and most tourists have gone home. Midweek days in early January, especially Tuesday through Thursday, tend to have the shortest lines and lightest foot traffic. The weather can be a bit chilly or rainy, but that helps keep the park even quieter. Just double-check the calendar, as some rides may be closed for refurbishment during this slower season.
Is it true that the parking structure at Disneyland is the largest in the world?
It's a fun myth, but no. The Disneyland parking garages aren't the largest in the world. The Mickey and Friends garage once held the U.S. record with around 10,500 spaces, impressive, but not record-breaking globally. Plans for the proposed East Side garage, 17,600 spots, will make Disneyland among the world's largest, but still fall short of West Edmonton Mall's 20,000 car structure. So while Disneyland's garages are huge, especially by theme park standards, they don't hold the world record.
Does the rise of the Resistance represent a new direction in theme park attractions?
Absolutely. It's a major leap forward. Rise of the Resistance blends multiple ride systems, physical sets, screens, animatronics, and even a live pre-show to create a seamless cinematic experience. Instead of just boarding a vehicle and going for a spin, you become part of a Star Wars story, with layers of immersion and surprise. It's less a ride and more a mini adventure. Disney calls it a next-generation attraction, and it's raised the bar for what theme park experiences can be. So yes, it's a bold new direction, and likely a preview of what's to come.
How long does it take to make over the Haunted Mansion for the Nightmare Before Christmas?
It takes about 3 weeks to fully transform the Haunted Mansion into Haunted Mansion Holiday, themed around the Nightmare Before Christmas. The switchover usually starts in late August, and the ride reopens in early September. It's a massive effort. Props, animatronics, and lighting are all swapped out. Even the iconic gingerbread house in the ballroom is rebuilt from scratch every year. After the holidays, it takes another few weeks in January to revert everything back. It's one of the most elaborate seasonal overlays Disney does, almost like getting 2 rides in one.
Finally, looking forward, are there any known plans to use generative AI in Disneyland?
Disney hasn't rolled out a full-on generative AI feature in the parks yet, but big things are in motion behind the scenes. Walt Disney Imagineering has posted job listings for R&D roles focused on generative AI, meaning they're actively exploring AI tools to assist in designing attractions and experiences. Disney, along with other business units, also formed an AI task force earlier this year, aimed at streamlining operations and potentially shaping future guest experiences. Expect generative AI to show up first in design tools, app features, or behind-the-curtain systems before it arrives in front of guests.
I look forward to seeing how the rapid developments in generative AI make their way into the theme park business. Thanks again for coming along for the ride, ChatGPT.
You're welcome, Taryn. Disneyland may have been Walt's dream, but your questions made it a journey.
ChatGPT, you're making me blush. And to you at home, thank you for watching this episode of 20 Questions with ChatGPT. If you've got a favorite Disney detail or a ride you think deserves its own deep dive, let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, preferably with enough enthusiasm to earn a lightning pass to our next episode. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Who's Gracie?
Good night.
20 questions with ChatGPT. 20 questions with ChatGPT. 20 questions with ChatGPT.
What's the topic?